Nvidia. Boy, have you stirred the pot.
Get ready to pay way more money. We're going to talk about it right now. So, if you're living under a rock, you don't know about this. Nvidia Windows announcement, huge breakthrough, new chip design. This is way bigger than the 386 going to the Pentium. Okay, way bigger. It's bigger than the first multi-thread. It's bigger than the first multi-core. Speaking of multi-cores.
Yes. And it's not as big as I am Robert from Nashville, and this is the pairing.
Well, do you mind if I introduce myself first, too? I am Lionel from Toronto, Canada. And this is the pairing mode. Because I say so. No, just joking. Anyways.
No, yeah. And we're sorry last week. We did do an episode. Lionel's video crapped out, and we ended up with like 5 minutes of video. So we apologize. Yeah. No episode last week, but that's okay.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. We got finished with the entire thing, and then I was like, oops. Oops.
It happens.
Yeah.
Technical issues happen.
It does.
So yeah.
But nonetheless, we're here now. I am recording. Yes. As a matter of fact, let me just move my mouse away from the stop record button and make sure that doesn't get messed up. And we're going to basically what we're talking about is what did they call it? The Spark. Let me just roll over here.
The Spark.
Not to be confused with Gemini Spark, by the way. Apparently, all of these companies use the same names because they're not copyrighted for a specific thing. There's a reason that they're called these things. So Spark happens to be what they've named this. And you know what? It's interesting because it's not unlike a tensor core when you think about it, right? Which, again, Google calls their chip a tensor core, but it's not that other companies don't have a tensor core. There's the reason that they called it that. So this is way more advanced than that in a sense, but it's built on the same idea. So I guess we should explain how ARM CPUs work in modern, like in what the top end Samsung phones, Google's phone, Apple phones. Apple is probably the best example, actually, believe it or not.
Yeah, and
not
course,
their phones, actually.
Windows
they're in one chip on their. Sorry, go ahead.
Windows has their Copilot computers that are ARM based.
Yes.
But one thing I noticed, and I find this very strategic, is that they're branding it as RTX Spark because all their high end graphics cards are RTX graphics cards. Very smart.
It is, but it's beyond that. It's because it literally is the same underlying architecture shrunk way down. Yeah. A lot of work was pulled into it, and a lot of people wonder, well, how are they able to do this? Well, it's very simple. Years ago, most manufacturers realized that ARM was going in the right direction for chip manufacturing and for scalability, and that's the key. How small can you make it? How efficient can you make it? And how many cores can you keep cramming into it before you hit a wall? Well, apparently they have a pretty high wall that they don't have to worry about it for a while, because when you think about it, the size of the chip it's pretty large, but it integrates every single thing. And they say, well, we've had integrated video before, but yeah. But you can't play video games with it. You don't do color grading with it, and work with Blender with it. Now you're going to be able to do that, and maybe we should give them some numbers and tell them.
Well, yeah, not works. Efficiently, anyways. You can do those things with other built-in,
but not Blender. No, absolutely not. Even the color grading was slow. I used to do it with a slow machine that had an integrated graphics, and it didn't work very well.
So their specs are,
So
and this number here kind of blows me away,
yeah.
is 6,144 core Blackwell
Now that's
GPU.
just the GPU. To be blunt, that is part of the
It's
chip,
mind
but it's
blowing.
just the GPU. And to put this into
Yeah.
perspective, GPUs work on a different architecture and how they work with code than a CPU, but they tend to be far faster and far more efficient and far better. So when they shrunk it down to this and put that many cores on it, they're actually making it more efficient and it runs on less power. That's scary.
Yeah. Keep in mind that all these agentic agents, all these LLMs, all these, AI tools you see are all 98% of them running on Nvidia GPUs,
Yes.
actual cards in
Yeah.
machines. So,
That's the
you
interesting
know,
thing is because they can't natively run off of GPU. So they actually have to have separate softwares that actually are like converters. They tell anything, how it works. It's kind of like having, oh my goodness, what's the matter with it? What do you call it? On Windows, uh, drivers, right?
yeah,
That tell every single thing how to talk to the CPU. Well, it's kind of like that, and they have to tell it. So it loses some of its efficiency in that. With this chip, it doesn't have to do that because it can talk directly to it because it's not the GPU that it's working with. Because we can get into the AI processing power now. The AI processing power, the chip delivers up to 1 petaflop. Wow, of local AI compute. Now, does your CPU deliver 1 petaflop of anything? No,
no,
neither does
no,
mine.
my computer can't count that high.
No. Yeah. It is capable of running ultra large 120 billion, not million, 120 billion parameter large language models, completely on device with a massive 1 million context token. Now, the 1 million context token, you're like, oh, my phone does that. No, your phone doesn't do that. Your phone is doing that in the cloud through Gemini or through Chat GPT or Claude or whatever. Those 1 million token context windows are not run
Yeah,
locally on your device. This, you can
no,
do this on device and far better than what we're getting on the device. But here's the thing, it's obviously can still, connect with, Chat GPT or Claude or Gemini or whatever in the cloud to get information off of your device, uh, onto your device, and probably do it pretty darn quick. But the thing is that it can process everything on your device. You don't have to wait. You have a power outage and you're on battery on a laptop, or you got a UPS device for your tower, and you can have this thing still running efficiently for 20 more minutes and finish off what it's trying to do.
yeah,
It's
yeah. It's a game changer for
it
sure.
yeah.
And you said that I didn't see any announcements as to estimated arrival time. You said it was
It's something
fall.
about in the fall, but again, I have no numbers on that. There's a lot of information I haven't been subject to yet. Um, Hardware availability. Okay, consumer rollout. The first wave of RTX Spark premium laptops and desktops will launch in the fall of 2026. So we're probably looking September, maybe October. But I'm thinking they might be thinking September because they're going to want people to make these purchases before three big games hit the market in the fall for every
Yeah,
platform. Um, and I know people, well, why would that have anything to do with it? Because games over $100 that people are spending per game, and it's expected that three games are going to hit, that millions of people are going to buy each of them. Call of Duty in October. Uh, we still don't have. Oh no, we do have a date. It's in November, if I'm not mistaken, for Grand Theft Auto 6. And now there's also BeamNG, which a lot of people are like, well, what the hell is BeamNG? It's a very popular game on the computer that has realistic crash physics for cars. and it's going to be available on PS5 and also have a massive new update for PC. So again, people are going to be spending $300-$400 on these 3 games. Some people will buy all. They want people to get these computers first. So I'm guessing, I may be wrong, but I have a feeling we'll see the first ones come out in September to try to get that rush in.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm I'm waiting for my conference call with Jensen, because he and I are, on a first name basis. So uh, he'll tell me when they're coming out. But
Bill and I were having lunch with Elon the other day, and
oh yeah, okay.
Anyways.
We weren't privy to that conversation as to when they were coming out, but that's funny.
Anyways, please don't sue me. Obviously, I was joking. Anyway, I'd be like, who is this nobody?
Yeah, I'm really excited for it, and the fact that you can have, like, for me as a content creator, the fact that I could have one machine that could do all my content creation, play the video games if I wanted to play games, do all my editing. I mean, I don't have to have 2 different machines or an overbuilt computer for this and an underbuilt computer for that. And, it just simplifies the whole, computer ownership. And the fact that you can have a laptop, everyone's like, right now, they're like, oh, desktop, you got to have a desktop to get the greatest GPUs, which is true.
For now.
Although, well, even still, like, Alienware has some top-end GPU stuff that runs big-time, RTX graphics. But now you have something that's going to be comparable, whether it's desktop or laptop format, and it's going to be capable of the same thing.
So the vast majority of gamers, for instance, will be happy with one of these machines, because the vast majority of gamers will be happy with it. Some of them will be happy to play 1080p if they can get their 240 frames per second. But that's, again, another story, because that's not the first people that are going to be looking at these. Some will, but these are going to be expensive. These are not going to be $800 laptops. But see, therein lies the cons. The first thing people say, oh, this is the beginning of the end for building computers. It might be, but it's going to be a long time. One of the things is we're going to see a couple of steps over the next several years. The first one is Intel is already trying to figure out where they can get new pants and underwear very quickly. The second thing is they also realize, wait a minute, we still have the low end and mid market, which is 85% of all CPU users. Right. Yeah. So
this is very much a niche thing
for now,
at least.
Yeah. It's kind of like buying that first 32-inch plasma TV that costs $17,000 at Best Buy.
Yeah. And a friend of mine just bought a new house, and he decided to just put all new TVs in it because his TVs were not like old, but they were old.
Right.
And when he started looking at TV prices, he's like, holy shit, this TV that I spent $4,000 on, I can spend $700 and have a better, bigger one.
Yeah. And it might not be anywhere near top of the line, but it's still 10 times better than what you bought 10 years ago. Yeah. Or maybe more than 10 times better. Yeah. I've got what's considered a mid-range. It's an upper mid-range, right? But it's actually almost as good as the lower end of the high end. If you go back 5 years and you could take this TV with you, this is a top of the line TV. Not even 5 years, just 3 years ago. That's how fast the technology's changed. Of course, naturally, it's got Gemini in it, and as much as I thought that would be great, I'm going to turn it off on the TV. I was getting set up for this podcast, and I told who to turn one of my lights, which it didn't do. Wow, that's embarrassing. I just realized, no wonder my picture looks so terrible. Sorry. Make
I didn't even
nightstand
notice
red.
either.
There we go. That's much better. You got to see that live right here on the pair. I forgot the name of the gosh, the pairing mode. Bloopers did
On the
blooper reel
podcast
the
mode. Wait a
podcast
minute.
mode. Yeah. Okay, we're going off the rails a bit. So let's talk about the con. I mean, not the cons, the positives that will come out of this. I believe we're going to see better, less expensive, slightly more powerful mid-range laptops and CPUs. Not until after
I
these
agree.
things launch, and probably not until after they start to come down in price a little bit. And I do know Nvidia is not going to stop making dedicated graphics cards either.
No.
By the way, so you don't have to worry about that.
No.
They're still going to be making their 60 whatevers and 70 whatevers and 80 whatevers when those years come around, and they do that. So you're still going to be able to get those for your for your desktops, for whatever you need them for. But this is an option. But if you're like me, you have limited funds and you just want to get a desktop that can do the basic stuff, maybe do some video editing for you, stuff like that. I think in about a year and a half's time, we're going to see mid-range PCs come down in price and be able to perform like last year's higher end, minus the graphics card part, because you're still going to have to buy that. But
well, I don't know that they're going to come down in price. I think what's going to happen is you're going to see higher end hardware at mid range prices. I think the mid
that's
range will
kind
probably
of
stay
what I
about the
meant, but I
same.
didn't say it as eloquently as you did. That's kind of what I
Eloquently.
meant, though. Yeah. I mean, I sort of did say it. I just kind of said it backwards. That's basically you'd have mid-range PCs that'll have, but I'm still saying it'd be more like last year's high-end specs, right? So this year's high-end specs will probably still be higher because they'll boast, they'll be making, like in commercials or print or they'll say something like, and you can still upgrade this next year.
Yeah.
But it won't be the manufacturers that were doing that, because a lot of these manufacturers are on board with this new Nvidia thing. Asus, Dell, HP, and Lenovo, Microsoft Surface, of course, MSI, which is huge because they make a lot of gaming laptops, as well as performance laptops, as well as mid-range laptops. Some of them are really expensive.
Well, but
Some of them are actually dirt cheap. So Acer
MSI
too.
is probably bigger in the motherboard realm.
Yeah, yeah.
They big early on in motherboards that you could use the graphics cards in. So, yeah, it makes total sense.
Acer
And
and Gigabyte to follow. Sorry, I just wanted to mention that. So yeah, so it says the partnership will eventually expand to a family of roughly 30 laptops and 10 desktops. And you're like, well, only 10 desktops? Why? Oh, because if you go into a Best Buy, for instance, or any computer store, and you look at all the desktops, there's really only about 10 or 20. They just have different variations of what the components are inside beyond that. Then you're going to find, 7 or 8 manufacturers on the shelf.
yeah, I think computer manufacturers are starting to do like car manufacturers, like how GM got rid of Buick, or not Buick, Pontiac, because they realized they had the Pontiac, they had the Buick, they had the Oldsmobile. Like they had the same car, it just had different badges on it. They're just a waste
Yeah.
of money. Like why would you keep R&D on 3 of the same model? That's kind of
Well,
dumb.
that's what when they had the whole fiasco some years back, and they had to get rid of all of the a lot of manufacturers got rid of their secondary and third and fourth brands. In some cases, like GM, they had been part of GM for decades. In other cases, they were amalgams of companies more recently. Like, have you that song "Crazy About a Mercury"? I listen to that song now with great nostalgia, because there ain't no Mercury.
Yeah.
And honestly, I
Right.
don't even see used ones on the road anywhere, like old classics. Whereas you still see lots of old Pontiacs, believe it or not, they still run. But anyways, I was going to say, because I mentioned Apple before, uh, uh, the market description, I'm getting this off what I got Jim and I to put together for me on this. Market description. This marks a major competitive shift in the consumer PC space, directly challenging Apple's Silicon M series dominance and breaking Qualcomm's recent exclusivity over Windows on ARM devices, which is, well, first of all, awesome. Um, um, but also because we rag on Apple all the time, but one of the smartest things they ever did was have engineers, come up with a design that they wanted to do, take the technology that was available, pay to have it done, and then use their patents to make sure that it was theirs. Their M series chip is top of the line, absolutely the best. And one of the things that you say, well, it runs a different system, kind of like how their chip, that might be more powerful on their phone than the Samsung top end phone, but it doesn't necessarily run better because they use a different software, and it's meant for that.
Well, it's the whole reason why Google went to the Tensor chip, because they realized that if they make their own, brain, they can then optimize everything around it instead of trying to make everything around it work with somebody else's brain. And it makes total sense. So people say all the time to me, "Oh, I know you hate Apple." It's like, no, I don't hate Apple. I just don't care for their operating system. I don't care for how it works. I don't care for some of the features and functionality. But I've always told everybody their hardware is second to none.
Very true.
Which is why people love it.
Very true.
It's like absolutely solid. I mean,
and that M1 chip is the industry standard right now.
Yeah, it's very seldom you pick up a Apple piece of hardware and go, "Oh my God, this thing's a piece of shit," because they just don't make piece of shit hardware.
That's correct. That's correct. They don't. I just don't like their software. Not that their software is bad. I just don't like it. So don't anybody get upset and say, "Oh, you're an idiot. It's better than Android and it's better than Windows." It's for you, yes. For me, no. And I always tell people, we make fun of it, but you have to pick a phone and a desktop and a laptop to do what you needed to do.
I have an iPad.
There you go. I have one too. So it's true. I do.
I have a MacBook.
Yeah, I didn't know that. But, you know what? This podcast is over. Ladies and gentlemen, we are not friends anymore. Just kidding. Just kidding.
And they sit here on the desk because I just
don't use them.
I mean, certain things I do. Right. But some, most things I don't, because again, I just don't.
Well, you can airdrop to your to your Pixel phone now, though.
Yeah, but I've never airdropped in my entire life.
never airdropped in your life, so why airdrop to that? Right.
Yeah.
I gotta put my phone in silent mode here.
But that being said, you brought up an interesting point about the Snapdragon.
Yeah.
That's going to make them work harder to produce better, more efficient, lower cost chips now, because they're not going to have the corner of the market.
Yeah.
They're going to have to compete with
this
chip.
Here's the thing, because this is not the only thing in town doing this. Technically, Google's Tensor chip is doing something similar on a much, much smaller scale, but it's in the same vein. The M1 chip is basically the same idea. It's just at this point probably gonna, I wouldn't say fall behind, because obviously they've got a head start on proving performance. So it's likely you're going to see advancements in the M1 chip in the next couple of years as well. It's going to force Intel to think, I guess it's time to dump 86.
To dump 86.
How do they do it? That's what I want to know. How you do? Well, because they hit a wall years ago. Fact of the matter is they've been basically just let's just see what we can do to put another pipe in there and try to get some more speed out of it. Put another pipe in, get some more speed out of it. Put another pipe in, but you can only do that so many times. They hit that ceiling a long time ago. Remember when it? What was it? How many? I forgot that calculation. However many years everything doubles. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
And that was true for a
I
long
forget the
time. And then somebody said that's not going to happen anymore.
yeah.
And sure enough, within a year, it stopped happening. Nothing's doubling anymore. I mean, you bought a computer 10 years ago that was 3,000 mega or 3,200 megahertz. And you're like, oh my God. And then you bought a computer this year that's 2,800 megahertz. And you went, this is way faster. What the hell? Right? And it, there's a reason for that. Technology's changed, but that's what I'm saying. It's still a wall, and they're basically just trying to make the wall wider because they can't make it bigger to stick everything to it anymore. Uh,
Yeah.
ARM has the ability to still expand. That scalability is still there for a long time. And Nvidia is like, hey, we make the fastest chips in the world. Why don't we pair this with ARM and go nuts? So
It kind of makes you wonder all these announcements that Google came out with all these new, processes and video and the new Gemini model. Gemma, and I mean, there was like my mind still spins over things I find like, oh my God, I can't believe I didn't know that was there. Like it's like
yeah,
insane. But you kind of wonder, like, did they know? They had to know this was happening, wouldn't you
yeah.
think?
Of course
Like,
they
wouldn't you
knew.
think there was some kind of
They
insider news?
absolutely
Like,
knew because here's the
yeah,
thing again.
so
Nvidia and Google and I'm not talking to you. Stop listening. Okay. Anyways, what was I saying? Nvidia and you know who, and these many other LLMs, the big companies, they're all like paying each other for certain services. Uh, a
yeah,
lot of them are paying now Google for because they have the infrastructure. Um, uh, Google's of course got the partnership now with Apple. Uh, they've basically been when you think about it, in competition with Nvidia, and technically they can beat Nvidia because the chip they make is better for large models on a large scale as data farms. Nvidia's not going to suddenly spend billions of dollars on data farms. Like that makes no sense because then they'd have to put all the chips that they
right,
make into the data farm and then no one would be buying them. So that's not a business model
right.
for them. So yeah, a lot of the stuff that people are doing there, and you're going to find people will buy these things. And here's the thing that I'm scared about. I should say this: how many people are going to buy up as many of these desktops and laptops as possible and try to string them together to farm for Bitcoin?
Oh, I mean, people are gonna do that. That's that people do that with everything. So it does that. I'm not worried about that. But it's like the whole Gemini Spark thing. That's that agentic agent. Um, I mean, gosh, I mean, I just see like it's getting nuts.
Yes.
It's absolutely getting nuts. And um, I was talking to somebody the other day, and it's the old, oh, I don't want to use AI, this and that. I'm like, well, why? They asked me about like what do I do? Like, somehow we got a topic of paper. I was like, I don't do paper. Like, I hate paper. If I could have no paper, I would. I have a printer because there's things sometimes I have to
I
print. But
agree.
she's like, well, how do you do this? I was like, it's all digital. Like, I download a PDF, I store it.
Yeah.
She's like, well, aren't you worried about this? I'm like, no, because I store it in my 5 terabyte space of Google, and it's backed
Well,
up.
let me pretend to
And
be somebody asking
it,
the question. Then, well, what do you do if you have some new information and you need to have a PDF? I mean, don't you have to have it on paper first?
no, you
That's
don't.
right. You don't.
You can turn pretty much anything into a PDF now, just with, I mean, Chrome can read PDFs, Edge can read
Oh,
PDFs.
beyond that, Gemini can generate
All
a
of the
PDF for you.
Yeah, well, I was about to say Gemini, ChatGPT. I mean, pretty much all the models can generate PDFs, and they can edit them. You're like, that's not right. I need you to change that heading. Oh yeah, sorry about that. You know,
Yes,
it's,
and it's
you know,
it's amazing, and that's not even the agentic abilities. That's just basically
right.
what Gemini can
Yeah.
do right from your phone right now. You know what? As long as we're on that, since we're talking about this stuff and it's all related, they did push out another update, and I'm not sure you're probably aware of it, where you now have a new option, and so far it's only available on desktop, or if you do it from your phone, you have to do desktop mode, right? So it behaves like desktop, and then you get organize files, and it will use the
I
AI
saw that.
to actually go through all of your files and figure out if anything should be moved into specific folders or create the new folders for you. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot. I did it a few hours ago. It took about 30 seconds for it to go through everything. I mean, longer if you've got hundreds of thousands of files. I mean, some people do, right? So it might take a minute or two for some people, but it should be within that 30-second to a minute window, roughly. Maybe even faster for some people. And it basically gave me the suggestion, showed me everything was, and I just went, okay. And I realized, wow, it's going to be so much easier because now I don't have anything just sitting there floating with nothing. I've got everything in a place and it's organized properly. A few things were moved from one folder to another because they were just grouped together because it was someplace to put it. But they didn't make any sense. And I had one file that it just suggested that I put it in a folder. It was by itself.
And you're gonna be able to say, hey, you know who? I need you to go into this folder, find me this file that you put in there the other day, and I need you to tell me, you know, what this says on this document, because whatever, blah 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 blah
Right.
blah, and it'll go pull the document up, it'll read the document, say, oh yeah, here you go.
Yeah, and this is the other thing too, is you can do that and say, yeah, I made a PDF the other day or last week or last month or last year or whatever. I think it was dated October of 2018 or something like that. But it was about such and such. And it'll find it for you, or a few if they're similar, and then you can pick the one that's the correct one. And you say, I need that converted to a docx or whatever other kind of file that's editable, but you can print as a letter if you want, or change, you know, to reformat it or whatever, and then have it converted back to a PDF if that's what you want as well. And it used to be, oh well, no, I've got to go and get Adobe and to make a PDF, and I got to do this, and and it was a pain in the butt for everybody. And now you can quite literally take a picture of yourself and ask it to make a PDF out of it.
Yeah. There's so I mean, it's again, the opportunities are almost limitless for functionality and organization within your own system. I mean, so and the person I was talking to, you're like, well, you know, because we were talking about passwords. There's another thing we were talking about. She's like, well, do you have all these different passwords? So I use a password manager. Oh, what's that? I said, well, it's you know, I explained to him what a password manager was. And she's like, oh, that's interesting. I said, so yeah, I have all the different passwords. And I said, but better than passwords is they're really starting to get and push forward with passkeys. I was like, do you know how you unlock your phone with your face? She's, oh yeah. She's got an iPhone too. And she's like, oh yeah. It's like, well, that's a passkey. So you could literally log into your computer account by looking at your phone.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, well, aren't you worried about? I'm like, worried about what? I mean, you're already doing it. Like, and there's no password. They can't. She's, yeah, but then someone, if they want in your accounts, they can just hold your phone up to your face. I'm like, at least you know they're doing it.
Yeah. Well, I guess
like, if someone steals your password, you don't know they have.
I guess my argument is if they're holding the phone up to your face to steal your stuff, the last of your worries should be that they're stealing your stuff. It should be whether you're going to live or not. I
Exactly.
mean,
That's why I told her.
it's
It's
like
like,
you're already, beyond that. You need help.
yeah.
You need to call the police at that
I mean,
point. It's
you need to secure your
yeah.
accounts. So, people don't think that like I have two-factor out the yin yang. I passkey whatever I can passkey. So I use my thumbprint to unlock my
Yes.
accounts or my face or there's nothing being typed. You
Right.
can't steal that information.
Yeah.
It's
Key
not
loggers
possible,
are
at least yet.
useless with passkeys
Yeah.
because there's no key
Yeah.
logging to log. Uh,
Right.
here's I think one of the greatest arguments I can come up with why you should use the passkeys in the first place. Oh no, the website has forgotten and I don't remember the password and I don't seem to see the passkey. But the passkey exists and you know it already. You know it exists. So you click on or tap forgot password. Now, in the past, or if you don't have passkeys, that means you now have to change it. And now you have to remember that. And now you have to worry about if somebody's going to find that password. But with passkey, when you click or tap on forgot password, it simply sends a thing to your phone that says, "Is this you?" You tap yes, and Bob's your uncle.
Mm-hmm.
You're into the site.
Yeah.
And by the way, Netflix and HBO, I believe, and various other streaming services have been using a form of passkey for longer than it's been promoted. If you were signed in on your phone, you simply had to, when you went to the TV and it was either a new TV or it got logged out somehow,
Yeah.
and you'd say, okay, log in with device. And you would. And this is before passkeys were even really
You
a
just scan the
thing.
QR code.
Yeah, this is before the QR code even. Well, no, sorry, not after the QR code, but before the passkeys became popular.
Right.
The QR code was a type of passkey in a sense too, wherever anybody else could look at it, but it still went to your device. That was the key to it.
Mm-hmm.
It had to log in with your device and the credentials you already had a login for. So even though you had to use at the time your password on your phone or tablet for Netflix in order to open it up on the TV, you didn't have to type it in. You just had to, like you said, show the Q or point your camera at the QR code, and then it would open it up on your app, and you would simply tap yes or match the numbers on the TV, and that was it.
Yeah.
So,
And also in Apple's favor, they've been using passkeys for a really long time
FaceTime.
because it sends codes to your other devices to log in
Yes.
to a new
Yeah,
device
they've been doing
as a
that
passkey.
for quite a long time.
Long time.
And I'll say
Yeah.
this, Windows kind of tried to do it for a long time. Windows Hello, I believe they called it. It was
They still call
still a good idea, but the problem is that they scared everybody the way they did it. They didn't make it seem as simple as FaceTime was. So it seemed like there were too many.
It didn't work as
Yeah,
well
it was too
anymore.
many hoops
It
to
still
jump
doesn't work
through,
as
and you
well.
had to have, like, the cameras were garbage, and it wasn't secure
Yeah.
face stuff, right?
Right.
Now you pretty much have two types of phones that can do facial recognition that's considered secure. Apple's, because of their the technology they use. I can't remember what it's called. Uh, the LiDAR, I believe it is, as well as a few other things they have in it. And Google's is just because of the way they run the software with the depth map. It's so efficient that they were able to get clearance to actually use it as security. It's the reason that it can be used as
So
secure.
ironically,
that's why it works with banks.
I can't use when I had my Samsungs. I couldn't use facial unlock. I always had to use thumbprint. On both my Pixels. Pretty much anything that I have my thumbprint, I can use facial.
Exactly.
And then if that doesn't work or there's not enough light or something, then I can use my thumb. So there's always a way around it. And another thing too about passkeys, what people don't understand is you can add as many as you want. I have some websites that I have both phones. I have my desktop. I have a laptop. So I have like 4 passkeys. And when I go to do the passkey, it'll even ask me like, oh, what device do you want to use? And I'll pick whatever device I have access to, and it'll send the code to that device. So, or authorization to that device. So, yeah, it's
I just
I
realized
tried to
my
default to that.
bank doesn't even allow facial recognition. I think it does on a on an iPhone, to be honest with you, but it doesn't on mine. I'm not sure why this particular bank doesn't. I have to use the fingerprint, but again, it's still a passkey. I don't have to type
Right.
anything in. Although it's not officially a passkey, it still has a password. It just uses biometric. I'd like to see
Right.
them actually switch to full passkey, in which case the face probably will work. Sorry, not now that I've tested it, I'm trying to figure out why I have less money than I thought I did. Anyways, look at it. Who took what? Um, God giveth and the government taketh away. Um,
and then Nvidia will take the rest
that's
of it with
right.
their
They
laptops.
will, and Microsoft and everybody else.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's been a lot of news that's been out. What other things have we got that we did not mention yet that has happened in recent days or the last week and a half? So, uh,
We don't have enough time in the podcast to go over
yeah,
all.
there's got to be something we can mention here.
But well, no, I mean it's I know last week we talked a lot about all these new software features and things that Google came out with, and they're still big news. I mean, they still function really really well.
Yeah,
The new video creation opportunities. I mean, it's truly mind blowing. Omni is mind blowing.
yeah, I've seen lots of videos, not lots, some videos where people have said, "Oh, well, it's not as good as this," and they're doing comparisons. And almost every comparison I see is of a fight scene. It's only 10 seconds long, and C Dance does a great job of it. But I dare you to put it up against Omni in a normal situation. Not every video you or someone else is going to make is going to be anime figures having a karate fight, right? So, yes, Omni is still not capable of having a realistic looking fight. You end up with like that's
Yeah,
it's
but
kind of dumb
it,
looking, but most of your videos aren't going to be that. You're probably going to make a video of an alien riding a horse in the Sahara Desert while it's snowing or some stupid thing like that, right? Just because it's fun and you can make it look half realistic. But the best part of it is it took up all of that space for, oh well, when Sora's gone, how are we going to do our avatars? Well, now we can, and our voices actually sound like us, unlike in Sora
yeah,
where it didn't do that. It's just your face and it was somebody else's
yeah,
voice.
yeah. Well, it makes you read twice as much as you did with
And it's
Sora.
yeah, and
So
it's
I'm
it's
sure
really only
that's
numbers, which is crazy.
yeah. Which is
But it
so
makes you
weird.
say it a
There's got
certain
to be
way.
something about those.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's got to be something about those numbers that the way they're pronounced
If
allows
you
it
remember,
to.
it tells you to emphasize it a certain way. Like you read it and it says, "Oh, read it
Yeah,
like this now. Now read it like this. Now do it this way, and now
yeah,
do it that way." And in the end, some of the videos, my voice sounds a little too good, not quite me. Like it's so heavily processed by professional broadcasters that know what they're doing that I'm like, I would have to be working in a professional studio to sound like that. Um, but
hmm.
other ones, it literally, legitimately just sounds like me talking, and that's crazy.
Well,
And it definitely looks
and
like me
I know
because it is my face.
this isn't Omni, but like I remember I sent you that video that I created. It was like 2 or 3 minutes long or something.
Yeah.
That promo video for the app.
Yes. That was really
That was
good too.
all. That was done by a prompt through HeyGen with the digital avatar, that my digital twin avatar. I had a voice clone through 11 Labs where I literally had probably 3 hours of voice cloning information for 11 Labs because I would take all of our podcasts and I would just upload the audio from the podcasts.
Okay.
And because I'm talking pretty natural, right? I'm not like,
Right.
robot or whatever.
Yeah.
And the voice came out phenomenal.
It did.
And so it uses that voice with my digital twin avatar, and the hand motions are pretty accurate. It's got facial expressions, and it's just like,
I
man, I
just
know it
thought
wasn't
the
perfect, but it's
fate
probably one of the best
the
videos
mouth
I ever did.
movements were slightly robotic looking, but literally that was the only thing. And I only nitpicked it, and I told you this too. I only nitpicked
Yeah.
it because it's like uh, photographers zoom in 400 times in pixel peep instead of just enjoying the picture. It's just true. It happens, right?
Yeah.
Videographers will go, what
Well,
is that color that's in there? That color's not supposed to be right. That's colorist, that is, anyways, not videographers. But the average person looks at a piece of art and says that's beautiful or it's not. And it's the same thing with that. You
right.
show that video to somebody and they're going to say, what? That was AI? I couldn't see it.
Yeah. Yeah. And, my son spotted it right away. Of course, he's in the space.
Yeah.
Anybody that's in the space will catch certain
Yes.
nuances. But like my wife is like, wow, like that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And it's probably the best video I've made as of to date, as far as it like overall being just flowed. Like you said, the cadence was perfect. The hand gestures. I mean, yeah, in the beginning, but I think it actually kind of cleaned up the mouse
Yeah.
movements as the video went on.
I believe
So yeah,
I do need to actually share a video, and I don't remember. Did I solve the issue? Oh, don't play that yet. Did I solve the issue of not being able to hear? I believe I solved that problem, didn't I?
I don't recall.
Well, we're about to find out because I'm gonna. How do I share? Where's the share button? Share screen. There we are. Window. Okay. This is, well, you know what? I'll let you see it. Hopefully it works. First of all, you're seeing it, right? Yes, you are. Okay, let me know immediately if you can't hear.
I can't hear it.
Well, that figures. I wonder why that is. That's kind of bugging me now. Stop sharing. Okay. I don't understand that. I
Yeah, we've had weird audio sharing issues.
You know
with
what I'm gonna
videos.
do? I don't know if I've actually sent that to you, but I'll send it to you after the podcast. But
No, I don't recognize it.
do we have a timer on this?
Yeah, we're about
45 minutes
so
in. Okay, I want to make a note of
yeah.
that. I'm going to slip the video into this part right here so that everyone else can see it.
Yeah, 47 minutes.
So now that they've seen it, you haven't seen it yet, but you will see it right after this. And we can talk about why this looks unbelievably realistic. It's crazy good. It's also only 10 seconds long. I cannot do 2 and 3 minutes like you can with Hey Jen. I do suspect that in a few years, or maybe less, this will be an option, a more expensive option, but an option. Also,
well, I'm sure it's capable right now, but the cost is too high to let people just
what
run
I think we're
wild
going
with
to
it.
see though is when the 3.5 Pro version comes out, that's when we're going to see the adoption of Omni into third-party models that will, or not models, services that will allow you to do these extra length. And I never really understood before how they do that when the models that you pay for through Gemini or whatever other service only lets you do 10 seconds or 30 seconds or 15 seconds or whatever. And I realize it's because they basically use other models on top to do the prompts to make sure that they can actually generate a video and a video on top of a video and a video on top of a video. And they continue to do it until they get your unbroken video. Something that you can do yourself in something like Google Flow, but it's way more of a pain in the butt. It would take you longer to do it. And you have to do each one and then generate another one with the last frame from the first one. And it's doable and people do it. But something like Hey Jen allows you to do it in one. Well, I shouldn't say one step. I don't know. You know how to do it, but
it's one prompt. You can tweak the prompt, and you can go in and tweak sections and all that. So it does give you some editing capabilities. But yeah, it's pretty insane. It's pretty nuts.
Yeah.
I love it.
So do because I dabbled with it, but unfortunately, since I don't pay for it, I can only share the videos that I make, not go back. And all I did was translation ones, and Robert was like, "Why do you keep sending me these videos of you speaking other languages?" Which is a thing, by the way, which is really cool. And I should mention that actually that's a good thing. If you actually want to do short videos where you want to be able to speak to an audience in another language, you can actually have your own voice speaking in Spanish or Russian or German or French or I don't know if it'll do Tagalog. That would be, I would like to try that actually now. I only know how to say one thing in Tagalog. I'm not going to, because even though we're not monetized, I don't want to lose the opportunity in the future. But I see by the clock on the wall, and when I say the wall, I mean on my computer screen, we should probably wrap it up.
Yeah. It's we've gone over some good information, and I think the Nvidia stuff popped just in the perfect moment to talk about it.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
It came up.
Looking forward to it.
I would like to say I'm looking forward to it, but I don't think I'm going to have, if I had that kind of money, it would only be if I had a car and I sold it. They're going to be too expensive.
Well, I'm not gonna have the money to buy it either, but I'm looking forward to seeing what it can do.
So. Okay, that you specify that next time. Yeah, I'll go into a Best Buy and I'll play with one and go, I can't really tell because it's just sitting on a desk in front of me. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing reviews from people who will be using it. Marcus Brownlee, definitely want to see his review. He'll do a review.
Oh.
Almost sure. Certainly, but the person I'm really looking forward to seeing it is the one I saw a video on today. It's Linus Tech Tips. You've heard of Linus Tech Tips, right?
Oh,
Canadian.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to seeing what he has to say, because he's really into the deep in hardware spec. He's a hardware guy. He likes to know how things run. So yeah. The guy, he'll buy two so he can take one of them apart.
Probably.
It's interesting, and I got to admit, I do wonder too if what's his name, the guy who does the tests, the durability tests on the phones. I haven't watched one of his videos in a while. I'd love, I'd love to see it if he decided to do a stress test on one of the laptops. I mean, he's not gonna. I don't think he's gonna spend $5,000 to break a laptop. But well, you never know.
Money doing things like that.
So, with that said, I will go on using my 4-year-old used store-bought PC with a 3050 in the for my video editing.
Well, this computer I'm on here is 6.5 years old.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So yeah.
i7, i5.
I mean, it's well, it's actually a workstation, so it's got a Xeon processor, quad core. Xeon.
Okay, so it's pretty efficient for what you use it for.
Yeah, but there's some of the newer like Ultra 7s beat it like no problem.
Well, yeah, I mean,
like my Alienware is technically faster.
I asked Gemini
laptop
about an inexpensive upgrade option, where I would always have to buy a new motherboard and CPU, and probably GPU, because I've only got 6 gigabytes of memory in this, and it gave me, it said, well, you can get this i5. I said, well, I have an i7. Why would I want to go down? And then it immediately put me in my place and said, yeah, but your i7 7700 is nowhere near as efficient as a new i5. I said, so you're telling me the i5 is more efficient, nearly twice as fast? And I was like, what? So I looked up the specs, and yes, it's twice as fast. Yeah. It's like way more efficient. So for me to
and there's i3s running i5
get
speed,
a $200 i5 CPU that would do better than this i7 7700 that probably cost $600 when it came out. You know?
Right.
Yep. So there it is. There's that. And so technically speaking, it won't cost as much as I originally thought. But again, I have to spend it in Canadian dollars. So 200 to you is 4,000 to me. And I am Lionel. I am in Toronto, Canada.
The most expensive place in the
No,
world.
it's not.
Oh,
wait a minute. Wait. Sorry, we have to backpedal. By the time we do next week's, we will be in the ballpark, I believe, somewhere of the World Cup tournament starting. I don't remember the date.
What does that have to do with?
Because I just wanted to mention it. The World Cup's on, so when we do this podcast, it's been a long time since we mentioned sports on our podcast, but it's the World Cup. We're gonna mention it, especially after Canada wins their first match and U.S. loses theirs. Come on.
Actually, I think we'll both end up losing to like Uganda or something.
Uganda. What's Uganda?
No, Uganda. Or
you trying to mix two countries together. Uganda.
Yeah, I did. Jamaica's going to beat us both.
Well, we're not. Neither one of us is playing either one of those teams. Canada's playing Bosnia. No, I can't even pronounce it. Bosnia and Herzegovina. However you pronounce it. I apologize to those from Bosnia and Herzegovina. And they have a chance, kinda, to win that match. I'm gonna go for I rooting for Canada. So there we are. That's is your flag there? Yeah, I can't. I'll see it in the final edit.
Yes.
So obviously you're going to root for USA, but believe it or not, there is actually a possible route. There's two possible routes for Canada and US to play each other. One could be relatively. I think relatively early in the knockout rounds. It would be the second time knockout round, possibly. Highly unlikely. However, it's possible. The less likely option would be, though, if they both tore through everybody and ended up meeting each other in, I think it would be the semifinal or something like that. They couldn't play each other in the final, though, apparently. That would be impossible, which is a darn shame. Not that it would happen anyways. Yeah, well. There's people from Spain looking at this going, what the hell are they talking about?
Yeah.
Oh wait, I shouldn't have said Spain. I'm so sorry.
Why?
Didn't they get knocked out and like they're not even in it?
Oh, I don't know.
I think it was Bosnia that put them out. I got to look that up now. See, now before we go, I have to ask. Spain is in the World Cup, right?
Yes, Spain is in the 2026 World Cup.
I was thinking of a different team, I think. So yeah, that would have been embarrassing. That's good because I mean they're one of the better teams. It would be a shame if they weren't in it.
Oh, and real quick news. I meant to mention this to you before. Nashville has already been awarded the 2030 Super Bowl in the new stadium.
2030? That's a long time away. No one's going to remember. I'm kidding.
It's 3 years away.
I'm kidding. So you get a Super Bowl. We get a World Cup. You get a Super Bowl.
Both football.
Are you going to go?
Probably not, because the tickets are already like they're selling like.
Wait a minute. They're not selling tickets already.
Not tickets. They're selling like reserving your spot to buy a ticket. The reservation for the spot's like $3,000. I'm like, yeah. I mean, the tickets are going to be like
basically no, you're not going.
No. No, I would have to come into some really big money for that to happen.
So see, here's the thing. This is why I like both baseball and hockey the way they're formatted. You can basically go to a game last minute. There's Game 7, and it's in my hometown. Get your ticket as quick as possible, and it's a regular price ticket. There's no $5,000 uptick on it. None of that garbage. It's just what it is, right? But for some reason, football, no. It's the same thing with the Grey Cup in Canada. It's really big compared to the low attendance that some teams get during the regular season. But when the Grey Cup hits, people are like scalping tickets for $800, which doesn't sound like a lot compared to Super Bowl, but $800 to sit in a 30,000 seat stadium that they put extra stands in to make it 45,000. What?
Look, when we went to when the Nashville Predators were good, like many eons
2017,
ago, and we actually were playing in the round the finals
Cup final
here in Nashville. Yeah. My seats, we sat in a bottom row.
You
section,
had season tickets,
section 103. Yeah, section 103. They cost me like $120 a seat. All right, normal price. The guy in front of me came in from Pennsylvania or somewhere. I don't know, because he was rooting for the Penguins, whatever. He paid $950 for his one ticket. I looked at my wife. I'm like, we need to leave right now and go sell these tickets.
Wow.
$950 he paid for that ticket.
Some people just have too much money.
That's a lot.
I won't pay $150 to go see a sports game. Like I won't do it.
That's why you never go. That's why you never go see one.
Exactly right. Because I live in Toronto. I think the cheapest tickets are $58, and they're so far up in the nosebleed section. Oh yeah, but they don't have any obstructed sight lines in Air Canada Arena. No, but they don't have good sight lines either. I mean, in Winnipeg, there's no bad seat to sit in. Oh, it's a smaller arena. Exactly.
Yeah.
But there's also huge arenas that have great sight lines. Chicago, good example.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't even know what their stadium is called, because even their old one was nice. Yes, they built a new one by now. They're not still in the United Center, right? Well, they wouldn't call it that anymore. Everything's been renamed since then anyways.
No, they haven't built a new one. They've added to it. It's got like 3 levels. It's 3 levels.
It was always
now.
3 levels, wasn't it?
No. There was a top level that was added, like boxes or something, I think.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I guess
I've been there for one game.
It's basically been redone 100,000 times.
Yeah, I've been to one game in Chicago, and I'll have to say I was really impressed by the stadium.
It's very
I was
nice.
Like, holy, it's big. It's big.
Is. And people say, oh yeah, that's why it's so loud in Chicago. And the thing is that there's only been a few cities where I've ever been able to say I think they might be as loud as Chicago, and sometimes even out loud them. And those cities are, and I hate to say this, but Vegas. I'm sorry, Vegas. It's not that I don't like the city, loud. But they're loud because they're extremely passionate fans. And that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. Winnipeg, when they didn't suck. I would say, one of the top 3 loudest. And the other one in the top 3 is, you could toot your horn on this one, Nashville. When they get into their groove as fans and their team doesn't suck, loud. Very loud. So,
and there's nobody that does chants like we do.
Well, Winnipeg used to, but they kind of stopped doing it when they started sucking.
Well, we still suck. We still do.
Oh, you still do the chants. Okay, that's right. Well, Winnipeg does still have one chant. True North, in the middle of the anthem being sung at the beginning of the game. Because it's True North Sports and Entertainment that owns it, right?
Yeah.
So they yell True North during that. Anyways. So, again, I am Lionel. I am from Toronto, Canada. Obviously, I'm a Winnipeg Jets fan.
I'm Robert. I'm from Nashville. Obviously, a Predators fan. And, real quick, we just picked up Colorado's GM for our new GM. Things could be looking up next year.
Finally. There you go.
So,
now,
on that note,
get rid of the coach, and now we'll go to that note.
Hopefully. And we'll see you next week. Peace.